Good morning. This is Jack from the Art Chart on it. Sorry, from Charging the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Friday, the 20th of December. My disclaimer: I did this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some order in doing it and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. Right, we've had a lower low overnight, and I think this has left us. I'm sorry, I've just actually basically sat down on my desk. We've got a possible 60-minute buy signal brewing here on ES. We already had one brewing, I think, on NQ, but we now very much got one brewing here. I was saying yesterday morning that I thought we were going to be building up into a significant rally, but I thought we might see a low retest, and this is what I was talking about. We've got a possible 60-minute buy signal brewing on RTY, and we've got one brewing on YM as well. This is basically what I would describe as a clean sweep. I think we are reversing back up here. We've got some double bottom setups here, and I think we're about to start playing them out. We've got a possible 60-minute buy signal. Nope, we've actually got one fixed on DAX now, and we've got one fixed on the ASTX as well. I think we're going to see a clean sweep this morning of buy signals across the board. And I was saying yesterday that we got down to the 3SD lower bands on the daily charts, on SPX, on DIA, on IWM, and that generally results in a strong rally. And I think we're about to see a strong rally. Now, start that. Could we see another retest of this low in RTH? Yes, we could, because moving over to the RTH charts, I don't think the pictures is by any means as unanimous. For instance, on the hourly chart, we could see, hang on, hourly chart, we didn't quite see the retest of this low yesterday, I don't think. And let's just have a look on the 15-minute chart to check. No, it wasn't quite taken. So we don't get positive divergence on the hourly chart until we retest it. I'm inclined towards seeing the retest of yesterday's low, not necessarily the overnight one. That doesn't need to happen. But to get our hourly divergences on these charts, then we should get it. And then I think we're probably going to start a rally, which will take us up into Christmas and slightly past it. What I'm thinking may will be happening here, and I mentioned this yesterday, is we've reached a potential head and shoulder neckline. I think we've got a pretty good chance of seeing a rally which takes us back up into the 6,000 area, maybe a smidgen more, and forms the right shoulder on this pattern. ES looks very much the same, except it went slightly below the neckline, very slightly below, rather than being slightly above, but it's basically the same head and shoulders, and I think we may well be seeing the rally to form the right shoulder now, and then we see the downside afterwards. In terms of the hourly divergences, we did retest the low yesterday, so we've got a possible RSI 14 buy signal brewing on the Q's hourly chart. We also saw a little more progress below the daily middle band there, but you can see we also at the low tested the rising support trend line, so that's a really good place to be reversing back up. I think there's a pretty good chance we're about to reverse back up. Very high chance, actually. Generally speaking, when I look at a setup like this, it means we're about to reverse back up pretty hard. So I think that's likely to happen today. On the IWM chart, DIA chart, we didn't quite retest the low. I'd like to see that low retest to give us the RTH ones too, but we've already got, just because they tend to be stronger signals that last longer, but we've already got that on the futures charts, and it's unanimous and it's across the board. All right, looking at the IWM chart, hang on. Right, on the daily chart, we're not getting daily positive divergence unless we see a larger rally and then reverse down to retest. And here I would note that we've got, and this can be sorted out later, and we can make these targets later, but we do have these targets here down at 206 to 209, and I think there's a pretty good chance we're going to come back for those later. But I'm thinking we do a strongish rally here, and then we go, and then likely after Christmas we go down. On the hourly chart here on IWM, we didn't quite retest the low. I'd quite like to see that low retested near the open today, and I think there's a pretty good chance it will be. And that'll give us hopefully a clean sweep of hourly divergences on the RTH charts as well. All right, looking at DAX. DAX, we actually saw a big move down here, and we've reached the daily middle band. That is a natural support level, and a good place to bounce. On Nikkei, we saw more downside as well. We're below the daily middle band, and I got to say, if we're not going to go back and retest this high here, then this is either a triangle or it's a flag. And if it's a flag, I'd be wondering about a move down to about the 37.5 to 6 area. And I think that might well be coming next, but not before we have a bounce. On the On the scenario where we were going to see a decent center rally and we were going to make some of my upside targets, I was thinking we might retest 42.4k here. Unless there's specific news from Japan, I think that's now looking unlikely. The more correlated it is with the other markets, the less likely that is to happen. All right, let's have a look at DX. DX, I'm thinking may well be turning over here. We've got a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing, and right now we've got a pretty decent looking double top. And on the index chart, remember I was saying on the index chart, the target would be 108.10. Obviously, we've done that. And this is a nice looking setup, and it could reverse here, although I am wondering if we'll just see a pullback and then continue up, possibly into the retest of the major high we saw a couple of years ago in about the 114.75 area, I think. On ZB, we're seeing a little bit of a rally here, but I think bigger picture, I'm leaning down, and I've got a target. The TNX flag is broken up. I've got a target which on ZB would be in about the 104 to 106 area, I think, and I think we're going to be heading there. On CL, I was saying that we could break up, but we were near the top of the range, and I'd be leaning towards the short side. We've been seeing that. NG has not been doing that, and I'm getting a little concerned. We might break over 350 here, and if we do, then it may be that we're not going to be forming the inverted head and shoulder, right shoulder that I've been looking at. But we do have a 60-minute sell signal fixed here. Sorry, I haven't updated it because I just got to my desk just before the webinar. But we've got a 60-minute sell signal fixed here. I'm going to be interested to see where this goes, but I would like to see this. We have a seasonal decline here. Into the April area, which is pretty strong. And as long as we see that, then I think I get my right shoulder. So far, it's not behaving. We will see. Right. In terms of GC, we've just broken the declining resistance here. No buy signal. And this could be a flag or a triangle forming. But looking for a bit of a rally here. If this is a double top on DX, which I'm skeptical about, but it's possible, then we could see a significant low here. SI obviously broke down into a lower low. I've got main support at about 26.5, but it doesn't need to reach that. In the meantime, we've got a 60-minute buy signal, which is fixing at the moment. On HG, has this retested the low? Not quite. I'm really leaning towards seeing a full retest of this low, and we're really, really close, but we haven't quite managed it. We've got down to about 4.07. The retest is about 4.06. I'd like to see that. We do already have a weak 60-minute buy signal fixed. All right, looking at KC. KC, given what's been happening with the crops, I'm still leaning towards seeing a retest this high next and then very possibly higher. SB, we broke down. We haven't followed through on that, and we've got a 60-minute buy signal fixed. I'm wondering if we might see a decent rally here. But I have to say this move here is opening potentially further downside, and I'll be looking at that more over the weekend for the bigger picture webinar. On CC, we are pulling back a bit. We had a 60-minute sell signal brewing, although that divergence was really marginal. I kept having to measure to see if it was still there. We've got a 60-minute sell signal fix, and that has reached the possible near-miss target overnight. That may be it. ZW. ZW is going a bit lower here. Not a lot, but some. This is still a potential double bottom here, but the lower it goes, the weaker that gets. Corn, this looks like a bull flag, and it looks about to break up. So corn and wheat really not been on the same page for the last day. On soy, we've seen a nice rally as well. Keeping an open mind, but whatever this is here, it's not a double bottom. So I'll be looking at the daily chart and looking at that for the bigger picture webinar. CT, we retested the low, haven't really reversed back up yet, but this is a potential double bottom, and it could be a very nice one. On lumber, we saw this very spiky big rally here, which very suddenly made the buy signal target. This is more or less a 50 back. We might be topping out here and heading back down for a retest. Looking at live cattle, we've continued down, and we're below the monthly pivot now. No current positive divergence worth the mention, really, a tiny bit. But obviously, we've made the target. We're below the monthly pivot. We could be heading towards this big support level around 184.4. And on lean hogs, we have got a likely bull flag forming. So we'll see. Okay, right. Just to recap on ES, we've got possible 60-minute buy signals brewing across the board. What I said yesterday is still true, that we've reached an area where I would expect to see a strong bounce, and we could be setting up some decent reversal patterns if we do that, particularly on SPX. I'm leaning towards seeing a rally here into Christmas, and I think that's probably what we're going to get. If that's the case, then we will likely fix all these buy signals today, and then I think we've probably got another 100 to 150 handles to go up. So is that right? Yeah, that is right. That's what I'd be looking for. 6,000 area for the move target. So I think at the moment this is looking like a really nice long. In terms of the pattern here, could this be a double bottom here going higher? Possibly. I'm skeptical about it. I'm getting an awful lot over that, but you can see on here the right shoulder high was in about the 6,100 area. It could do that. But I'm thinking 6,000 plus is where I would expect this range to land, and I think we're probably going to get the first decent move up on that today. We shall see. All right, great. Having a look at questions, of which we have none. In that case, everyone have a great weekend, and I'm expecting to get a post out today, so look out for that. All right, cheers.